Trent's Tactics, back again, Lawrence. Nice to see you.
Hi. Yes, nice to be here. Nice to be here.
So the truth is, I just tell you the truth. Dear viewers, for being still with us all the time, we really highly appreciate it. But during our episode, I was thinking and trying to solve a puzzle, and I thought, like, for whom is it actually really that interesting if people watch me solve a puzzle? Of course, the idea is clear. It's a training, it's a tactical training for you. And we have Lawrence here, and it's almost a little bit of a waste because you are a great chess player, especially wonderful with tactics. So how about we make this a real tactical training for you at home? Because in the article, in the link below, we have all the boards set up for the next tactical options. We give you the tactic to solve on your own, in your own time, just like a tactical training, but we have a trainer, a coach here with Lawrence, who will give you the solution after you just pause the video.
Yeah.
And explain the concept, the ideas behind it, how to approach this, give a little bit of tips and tricks. And I believe this is so much more interactive for you guys. And we start with this one here. It is, yeah, it's white to move, I guess.
Yeah, so this position is a game, Giblis against Bora from Berlin, 1991. And the position is as follows. And what you'll do is, you'll pause and try and work out what's going on. What I look for in this position, there are two things that immediately stand out to me, or three things that stand out. One is the dark squared color complex around the black king. So I look at all of these weak squares. I see they are undefended, and I want to take advantage of that somehow, especially because he has a light square bishop. And that's the other thing I see in this position, is I see that he hasn't been able to mobilize his queen side, and as a result, the back rank is weak. So I see dark squared color complex, weak back rank, and weak king. And all of those things together then makes me find the solution to, or at least the first part of the solution. And then after you've found the first part, that's when you have to be a bit more creative and look for more decisive knockouts, okay?
Excellent.
So that's what I would do. Pause the video and see if you can try and work that out, how they all combine together.
Okay, so now we give the first move to this puzzle, and then we can advance with pausing the video again after that, I think.
Exactly. So
my guess is, by the way, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
It's rook takes h5.
Now, this is a really good try, and it's a move that should be on your
on the list,
on your horizon. But after g takes h5, what is the follow-up?
I thought about rook to e5, but then I also thought it's too slow.
Maybe now just
Okay,
f5,
okay,
and he's
that's
probably
nice one.
defending.
Okay.
But it's well worth. But what do we do as well in attacking chess?
We consider.
Well, if we don't, if the move isn't good, that doesn't mean that the idea isn't good. It just might not be the right time.
Okay.
So we always keep a move in mind. Okay, so rook takes h5 we can keep in the bank. Okay, so it's not rook takes h5.
So which one is it then?
It is the move pawn to d5. All right.
Yes.
We are opening up the diagonal for the queen, and you can immediately see that e takes d5 is just not possible because of a very simple tactic of rook down to e8 check. This is what I was talking about, exploiting the weak back rank.
Nice.
And after rook takes e8, king h7, any piece that goes to h8 is mate. I would probably go with the queen. So we know that he can't play e takes d5. Now, if he can't play e takes d5 here, then that's quite a serious problem for black, because we are opening up the position while he can't move. So what can he do? Well, let's just say he plays the move bishop to d7 and ignores it. What did I say to you before about don't throw away the idea, just throw away the move in that moment, right? Now things are slightly different because the queen can join the action. So I'm going to ask you, Arne. Arne, in this position here, what move can white play?
Well, I still no. No, I don't know. I cannot get it. So
You
it's time.
can.
I can. Okay, but now it is time for you to stop the video again because we will advance for the next move in a moment.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
I still don't see that rook taking h5 is good because of the f5 trick.
true that rook e5 now would still run into f5, but
what if we go with the queen to f6?
there you go. That's the move. E takes d5 is not possible. And now if queen takes d5, which was, that's the only, because your idea of rook e5, rook g5 is, or rook e5, rook takes h5 and mate is winning. So after queen takes d5, well, now white has got a few options. Rook e5, I would guess, is probably good enough. But I think that in this position, actually, black would probably take it off.
Take, and then the bishop to e8 and
exactly, and try and struggle here. Queen g5 check, king f8, queen takes h5, and yeah, rook d5, something along these lines, and say, okay, I'm probably still losing, but at least I can fight a little bit.
It's not crystal clear.
Yeah, so we've got that as backup. That's another thing about obviously attacking chess is that if we've got backup, that's normally a really good thing. So the question is, what other moves exist here for white?
Okay. Time to stop the video again, by the way.
There we go. Stop the video.
So one thing, I mean, very obvious, we can just threaten checkmate with the knight on g5, maybe?
Yeah, so we could go knight g5, but here it already feels very bad, right? I already see a big problem with this move.
A big problem?
Yeah, I see a big problem with this move.
That's not good.
I see a really big problem with this move. Let's see if you can see it at home as well. Huge problem.
Is it just queen to f5?
Correct.
Okay.
You know it is, right? Now the queen comes to defend, and queen h6 doesn't even threaten anything.
True.
Not to mention queen g6 exchanging the queens, and we feel a bit silly. It's not knight to g5, so therefore it is, of course,
the knight e5.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Cutting the queen off
so clear,
as well.
Of course.
That's another key idea, is when you cut the queen off from communication to the defenses. Now, after knight e5, we're threatening mate in 2. Queen takes f7 and knight g6. So black's reply is pretty much forced. And now the next move comes very naturally.
Yeah, so this would be a rating of 1400. You should guess this. If you're not 100% sure, stop the video, but it is very likely rook to e3, right?
Correct. Rook lift. Bring the final rook in. Remember, we're a rook down officially, but what rook are we down, right? We've got 3 attackers, and really he's only got 1 defender on e8. So it's not even really a fair match here. How do you stop rook g3 check and knight g? For example, if he went here, check, king here, this check is very, very nasty.
Yeah, and that's mate in 2.
And mate on h8 is the only game.
Yeah.
So we're threatening mate. So now the game is pretty much over because black gives a check. Well, black does find a resource with rook d4. Fair enough. That is a resource. Rook g3 check and rook g4. This is all forced. And now we have to take. And this is where white does actually have a few ways to. He's still a piece down, but the attack continues, right? And now white has got a number of ideas, but I really like the way Gymnast played with h5, yeah. H5,
That's
the queen,
nice.
and now h6 is the threat. So the queen came to d8, rook takes g4 check, king f8. And now there are, again, various ways to continue, but the simplest is just to give check and play rook f4, which actually pins the bishop down. And now you're just ready to run with the h pawn. Queen d5, queen f6 check. You can't go to the d file because of rook d4. And of king f8, h6, and that was the end of the game.
Game over.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice.
I think that's a very nice little exercise.
Excellent, because stopping the queen with this knight move to e5 is a very interesting pattern, which is good to remember, I guess.
When I think of famous attacking games and I think of Kasparov games, that was one of his specialities. He used to call it cutting the board in half, or cutting. So if you look at some of his most famous attacking games, for example, against Portish, for example, that's one where he was just fantastic, cutting the opponent's pieces off from communication and defense.
Nice one.
Next one. Okay. So this is the game to say against Hidalgo from Spain in 1989. And we have this position, which is a position from, well, actually, I'm not sure exactly what opening. It could have been a Sicilian or a French. And it's white to move. Now, again, everybody at home, this is how I view the position. We're going to pause it here after I speak about how I see this. What are the things that strike me when I look at this position? Well, there's one key or two key things. Three key things, maybe. Three key things, perhaps. The first one is development. Okay? I see that white is castled. I see that all of white's pieces are in play. So I immediately have the development lead, and I want to take advantage of that because I see the black king is in the center, and I see that the black bishop is still on f8. Number two, I see a stray knight on a2, which can be targeted perhaps. And then after that, I say, okay, clearly I can't allow my opponent to consolidate here. So what do I do? And this is where, again, applying the standard rules of attacking chess come into play. I've already spoken about it so far. See if you can guess what white should do in this position right now.
I think I have solved it on my own. Let's see how you are doing. Pause the video now. Okay, so, well, I just realized that there is a little flaw in my thinking.
There's a little flaw, huh?
I thought about the rook taking on d7.
Okay. Well, there are no checks in the position, and it's absolutely the first move that you have to consider. So rook takes d7. Bravo.
Bravo. Oh, okay.
Okay, it's the first move. Now, we know he can't take the queen, which is the intermezzo, because knight takes and we cover our rook, which is quite cute. The fact that we actually protect our own rook. So he's forced to take. And now where was the flaw, did you say, in...
I actually thought the flaw was that the queen, that the king doesn't have to take back. But after all, it isn't a flaw. So I would just really win a piece. Yes. So...
Okay.
Now I don't see a flaw. So the next move I will say in a short moment. Is it correct, by the way? Is this the first correct move?
This is the correct first move, yeah.
So it's time to stop the video again. The board is below. And I think now it is bishop b5. Check.
Correct. You follow up with checks. Absolutely.
Nice.
Now, this puts black in a very difficult spot because actually he only has one move, right? Because rook c6 actually runs into queen c7 check.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And queen d8 is mate, right?
Didn't
so
see that. I
black
just thought he would lose a rook, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably other ways, but black has got to play the move king e7. And this is where we need to find something.
Oh, okay. So, time to stop the video once again.
Let's do it.
That is. Oh, no, that's not working. That is not working either. That isn't working at all. Well, so wait, let me count quickly.
You count.
Okay, we have one piece less. No, so I will give my candidate move, which is probably wrong because I don't feel it. I don't feel that it's correct.
Okay.
But I thought about rook a1.
Yeah, that definitely feels wrong to me. I don't know if it is, but it feels wrong to me. Okay, I can see an immediate problem why. Let's see if we can solve this. So the move rook a1 here, I think is a problem. Yeah, I can see something wrong with it. Have a think. Have a think. Let's see. Rook a1. Pause the video at home. This move here, I'll put it on.
Okay.
Yeah, pause here. What is wrong with this move right here?
Well, I think we can just take the queen.
Okay, queen takes queen. We have to take back.
And then we give a check on c1.
Exactly, right? All the pieces are being traded. Now, this position might not be totally clear after something like bishop b4 check.
It's not enough for mate. That's the problem.
But after king f6, knight d7 check, I get it, king f5. Clearly,
but now
we've lost.
Piece back.
Yeah, but we're not here just to win pieces. And even this is not so clear, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So we need to find something more decisive here.
The king was on e7 though, exactly. The black king, yeah.
Oh, sorry, king to e7.
No worries. Correct. Because now I thought about oh, how about rook d1?
Rook d1 here. So rook d1.
Take the queen again.
And if queen takes queen, knight takes queen, rook c1, we have some. Ah!
Yeah.
No. This is a blunder. Why?
Bishop b4 check.
No, well, yeah, that exists.
Bishop d8 mate.
Is mate.
Oh my god.
So rook d1, but here possibly. I mean, this is possibly good, but maybe I can get running again with the king. Maybe.
Yeah. Bishop.
Yeah.
Oh no, the knight is hanging around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit sort of, yeah. So it's not that or that. Now that we've played all of those moves, this is what I love about tactics training, because you go down these variations and you say, rook d1, check it. And all of the actual individual moves are all relevant. So now what you try and do is you say to yourself, is there a way I can change the move order? Does that make a difference?
I found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have you found?
It is actually exactly as you're saying it. So apologies for you at home if you already found it out a while ago, but of course it has to be bishop d8 check.
Yeah, it's bishop d8 check. Well done if you found this at home. Now,
beautiful.
Your rook can't take. You use queen, king takes is the only move. And now
Now the final plan. Rook d1 check.
You bring the rook in.
King
The
has
king
to go
has to
back.
go to e7.
Rook d7 check.
Exactly. Rook d7 check. Now the king has to walk into a discovered check.
So how to checkmate best? Maybe not even necessary. I don't know. But I would have thought about just very simple rook. Well, there must be a way, shouldn't there? Rook d5 is probably the best thing. Or is it rook b7?
Rook d5 is a huge blunder. Why is rook d5 a huge blunder? Pause your video at home. Rook d5 check. Arne would play rook d5.
I found it. Oh god.
You found it. Pause your video at home. Why is this a huge blunder?
Queen takes b5. Beautiful.
Yeah, queen takes b5. Oops, rook takes b5 and rook c1 check. So there are still dangers in this position. So it's not that. So we need to be able to take back on b5 with check.
I thought it's already solved, but then this happens. So what about rook b7 then instead?
Exactly. Rook b7. Thank you. Now queen takes b5, queen takes b5 check. So the king goes to d8. And now some pattern recognition should come in and start to kind of hint to you that this is clearly a case for a windmill pattern, right? Check, king e8, check, king b8, check, king e8. And now it's like, oh, it's actually not so easy. In fact, you didn't really need to do all of those moves before because white's next move is really, really nice. Let's see if you can find the final touch here. Stop the video and let's see if you can find it.
I am back and I don't really see it. Well, do I? Rook a7 check, king d8, rook a2. Is that enough? Then
no, clearly taking on a2 is not the way forward here, right?
Rook d1?
Rook d1, king e7?
Damn, why? Oh, is it? Oh, no. Yeah, it must be rook c7 then, right?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now you have to solve it.
Okay, I'll show you because it's absolutely beautiful. It's rook takes f7 check.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is why this is so special.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Now I see it, but yeah.
King takes f7. Now, the only logical follow-up is to give the check with the knight. This is obviously mate. Black has only got one move. King here is also mate into... Oops. The king here is also mate into on d7.
Yeah.
So black has to go king g6. And now
bishop
there are probably many ways here, but the most pretty... Bishop d3 check might win. Bishop d3 check might be good enough, but the cutest one is to give all your pieces. Queen takes e6 check. King takes g5. f4 check. King h5 and bishop e2 check finally does the job.
Bravo.
What a position.
That's insane.
So
this was the actual game?
Yes.
Wow.
Now look how many pieces you've given up there. You've actually given up 2 rooks and a knight in that attack. Quite a very, very special game. But it's a game that, you know, if you said Paul Morphy played this, you wouldn't be surprised. You know, this is the first move. Okay, this, and then here, this is where finding bishop d8 takes a little time.
That's tough.
Right? Once you've done that, though, it all flows. Then you find the windmill. And then the beauty of having these kind of positions, Arne, is that you've got a draw in hand. So there is no risk. Okay, you feel a bit silly if you don't win it sometimes, but in general, you're playing, you're free rolling as poker players. So you're free rolling the position.
Now
it's a very pleasant place psychologically to be.
The windmill wasn't necessary.
The windmill actually wasn't necessary.
But
no,
that was
the
how
windmill
the game
wasn't
went,
necessary.
right?
Sorry, yeah, rook takes f7 would have worked anyway. But maybe he didn't see it at first. Well, obviously he didn't see it at first and was trying to find a way. So, okay, well, how bad could it be just to win 2-1? And then somehow the pattern came to
I understand, yes. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a beauty, absolutely. Let's take one more. Guys, I would love to know, is this a format which you are enjoying a bit more, where you actively take part in this whole process? This is a tactical training. It's good for everybody. It can't go wrong, right? So we're learning a lot. You play it on your own on the board, and you get a lot of advice and tips and tricks from a master of chess. So I think this is something which is a bit nicer for all of you, because it is for all of you after all. Here we are. Black
to play. Castagna against Ernst from Biel, 1982. Now, this position, to my eyes, looks like it comes from could be a Catalan, actually. That's what it feels like. With an early Queen A4, one of these kind of Catalans. So,
one of the trickiest parts about this whole position, in my opinion, I'm just letting this go for right now, is that I would immediately think like, I'm castling short.
Right. So castling short is definitely one of the first moves. But of course, if you castle short, you then realize white plays knight c3, and it doesn't take white long. For example, after queen h5, white's got a lot of ideas here.
You can just take the pawn, easy.
Well, you could do. You've got to calculate knight g4 though, right? Because that's
oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, it might still be okay, but we're getting close to being. I mean, here the first move that screams out to me as white is to play the move queen b7.
Okay.
In order to come back to f3 or g2 and defend. And remember, I'm a pawn up here, so if I consolidate with white, I'm going to be fine. So the first thing really in this position that I want to do is I can see for that just half move that white is not coordinated. Half a move, not a full move, a half move. And my spidey senses are tingling and they say, can I take advantage of that?
Nice. Okay, time for you to stop the video.
Pause the video and have a look. That's it.
Okay, I'm just shooting in with bishop takes f2. Check.
Good. Now, this is, of course, the first move you look at. A, because it's the only check. And B, because we immediately see rook takes f2, rook takes c1 is clearly beneficial for black. So you say, well, white has to play king takes f2. And now we follow the natural laws of attacking chess.
Okay, stopping the video now. Good. I believe now we got a tiny little hint when we were doing the castling maybe, but the knight going to g4 where the check is probably a good move.
Of course. We follow the checks. King goes to g1. Now.
I think I have an idea, yeah.
You have an idea?
Yes.
Should we pause it? See if the guys at home have an idea as well?
Pause it, guys. Now I would take on c1 with the rook. Because I want to get rid of this bishop. He's the only piece in the way. There's no check from the white queen.
That's very important as well. No checks from the queen available. So he only has one move.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And we pause the video one more time.
Okay.
Well, it looks a bit too simple, but probably, I mean, I don't see anything else right now. It's queen d4 check. But because that was the
Exactly.
main idea with taking away the bishop.
Correct. Queen to d4 check. Hitting the king.
King cannot go to f1.
Correct.
But can go to either h1 or g2. Now, h1 is the question if it is just simply not enough with the queen going to f2.
Oh, yeah, we got to be careful about that.
Yes.
Right.
It is
so we
enough.
can't really allow checks here now. Queen c8, well, rook ch, it feels too I mean, even this, I mean, it feels insane. Well, no, I can immediately see, for example, check, check, and then if the king escapes, I can see queen f4 check, just as an example.
Oh, that's nice.
Allowing the checks is intuitively bad. We have to follow the checks.
Good. So after that, it would be queen e4 check.
Correct.
So we use
the king has to go back to
system.
g1.
Queen e3, and that's already kind of solved, I guess.
Well, it is because, yeah, king h1, we take on c1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it cannot be king.
Well, let's say king g2. We could take on c1 here, although I don't think that's the end of the world for black, is it? For white, sorry.
Then we would lose, right?
Yeah, because queen a8 check actually wins the rook, and we probably don't have a winning attack. So,
but then
after
again,
king g2,
the queen takes on b2. It's very interesting, but it's not crystal clear. Let's say it like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I have to just calculate if queen takes e2, king h3, or not even e2, let's go to f2 to be more precise. And then queen takes h2.
Right, so queen takes h2 again is the first move you think of, and then after king takes g4, you start to realize,
working.
Yeah, it's a few pieces short. So there's only one other move here.
The knight to f2 check.
Follow the checks, good. Now, king h4, queen g4 is mate, so white only has one move, king g2.
Okay, so we go to... yeah, I solved it now. Okay, so if you want to pause the video one more time, but this should be easy. Just find the mate in, I think, 3. Let's see.
No. But it's maybe not as easy as you thought.
Oh yeah, it's true. Oh no. Anyway, time to pause the video. Exactly. So it must be knight to e4, but the question is, it doesn't have to be knight to e4. We're doing
have to be knight to e4
We're doing the cutting off again.
Exactly. The concept is to cut off, though, which is good.
That is so cool. It's knight to d1.
Yeah, it's knight to d1. Now, this is super cool.
That is so cool.
The king can't go in the corner because of mate. The king can't go here because of mate. Right? Yes. So the king is forced to come up the board. And now we can force the king up the board thanks to the disconnect on the back rank. Queen f1 check.
Love it.
Love it. Right? Now the king has to come up. And now this is where here clearly queen f6 check, king h3 is going to be repetition. So you just try and involve,
in my opinion, yeah.
Involve yourself like this.
So now it has to be calculated again a bit, I guess. So
exactly.
The king can go to 3 different spaces, but it looks as if h5 is immediately wrong because the queen can go to h3.
Correct.
The rest should be
and then the rook comes in and you don't have to really calculate any, well, I mean, just 2 moves.
Yeah, but the king goes to f4 again. So I think the rook doesn't go in.
Well, king to f4. The good news is that, okay. What did you want to do here?
Oh, I wanted to give a check on f5 with the queen.
And king h4.
Oh, it goes back again.
Yeah, it goes back. I think you definitely want to bring the rook in because I see that knight does a great job of blocking e3. So here, for example, I would give check, king e5, probably go with the rook check, king d6, check. Am I managing to screw this up? Hold on. This is where, yeah, a little bit of care is required here. So check, king f4. Oh, sorry, it's mate in one. Yeah, that's important to find mate in one.
That's good to find mate in one. Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, mate in one is good. Yeah, mate in one is good. So yeah, so g5 check. So he has to take
or go to
check.
g4. Yeah, yeah.
King goes back to h4, and this is where black has got a very, very, very special finish. Pause your video and see if you can see this. It's mate in about 4.
Whoa. Now I'm curious. It has to do something with the knight, I think. Check. Oh. I cannot see it immediately. What's the move, Lawrence?
It's beautiful. It's actually rook g4 check. Yeah, it's stunning. The point is, of course, you have to take king h5, queen h3 as mate. And now you can deliver the check with the knight.
Yeah.
And the point is that, well, if the king comes up here, this is mate in 2 because of knight g2 mate. And if the king goes to h4, you have this check here, very importantly. And the knight does a great job of protecting g4 and g2, and on king h3.
h6 mate.
I mean, stunning, no?
That is so cool.
I mean, all of these examples have been so cool today. And they've all been based on fundamental attacking principles. And taking that half move. Just this moment here, half move. That's all you need. And everything flowed. The important move you had to see, of course, the tough move was really knight d1. That's the tricky one. If you see that, the rest of it flows. But it's, yeah, it's a great puzzle, a great position.
Every position is, oh, it's so much fun and it's so satisfying when you find the solutions. Now, what we will end the show here already, but what I want to know from you at home, is this something which you appreciate a bit more? Because as we said in the very beginning, we want to concentrate a bit on you as a viewer, to be a bit interactive, to get like, okay, it's time, it's Friday, it's Trent's Tactics, I can do some tactics, get my brain working. If you are a beginner with chess, can you still find the solutions? Is it maybe too easy for you? Or is it like, yeah, that's fun, we're stopping the video because then I have my own time and I can use all the moves, ideas, and then you get an explanation. So I think this is working very nicely. So let's try to keep it up like this. Write in the comment. I will read everything. I will also answer everything. So promised for this. Okay, guys. Trent's Tactics. That's it for today.
Been a pleasure.
Soon again. Thanks a lot for
watching.
Again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.